A couple things this week. The Fed raised the interest rate another 25 basis points, kind of expecting them to do that for a while. The mortgage rates don't really seem to be going up that much. It's starting to divorce a little bit, which is interesting. I've seen a lot of programs where you can actually get loans for a lot, um, a lot less than a couple months ago. Today is the 4th of February, so the honeymoon phase of this new year is kind of over already. The first thing I've been telling you guys is we're really trying to create cash. I really think that's just a must. You have to create cash in this environment. The inflation rate is still way high up, so any deals you can get into, try to get into it. The inflation will eat away at your debt. That's still the absolute best play we have. So try to take that. That's my number one thing on the state of the market right now. It's a good time to really try to create business. So like if you're an agent like I am, try to make a lot of calls and try to get new listings. I have a listing appointment right now. Came from a cold call, or really a cold call, but like somebody who I've been texting and texting and texting over the years, who now wants to sell. So I think that's really a good way to do it. If you want to see how I do it, just text me and I'll show you how I use Mojo, and then I text and I call, and I email, and I just kind of try to stay top of mind a little bit. So, you need to have a few ways to create business. So, basically call, and follow up. So skip trace, call, and follow up. That's like basically the basics of my business plan. And that's both as an investor and an agent. That's a way to do the best business. Later, I'm going to tell you about my best cold call, like the perfect cold call kind of sequence. That way you kind of know what you're aiming for. Something that was really interesting is I sold my first investment in Pennsylvania, and when we were doing the title, they found an old inheritance tax from 4 owners ago, super long time ago, like way over seven years, like longer than you keep documents, right? And they were saying I owed the money on. They were saying I owed 8,300, a lot of money. The place is only 115,000, so that's like a big percentage of the total. And I was able to go through my deeds and find the title insurance, and then put in a claim to cover myself. So try to keep the hard copies of everything, because nobody had any documents about it. So I was the only one that had like a hard copy of documents. And then because I was able to put in the claim, I was able to put pressure on the title company and the lawyer and stuff to basically dismiss it. I ended up getting a letter of intent that said that nobody intends to get that money. It seems like what actually happened is that there was an inheritance, but there was no profit. So the government put in to be paid, but actually because there was no profit, nobody owed the 8,300. Not me, not the person 4 owners ago. So that's kind of an interesting thing. The government will just keep coming for their money no matter what. So the point is, keep your documents and just cover yourself. One thing I've been using recently, which I think is really good, is scoremaster.com. They have a system to track your credit, and then it gives you advice of how to build your credit. This is very good for me because my credit goes up and down. As I take out a lot of debt, my credit goes down, especially as I use 100% of my debt, which I have done. And then I rebuild it and I get my credit back up as I pay back. This will tell you like which credit card, how much to pay back to get how many points. So in other words, if you're applying for a loan like I am, that I need a 680 credit score and my credit score is currently at 590, it tells me if you pay back this $15,000, you will hit 685 and you'll be applicable for the loan and you'll get what you want. So that's actually a really good thing for investors, to just be able to kind of juice your credit exactly where you need it. I mean, obviously you need the cash. The way it is for me is that I sometimes have a cash flow problem. So that's scoremaster.com. I'll put the link over here so that you can see it. And I really highly recommend that. I got that from the Legacy Investor, who's also awesome. If you're not following him, follow him. He's got awesome content, especially for short-term rentals and Airbnb arbitrage. He's great. Yeah, a little bit about the PA deal. It's finished. We closed at 115. I ended up netting a large chunk of that. I did about $16,000 worth of rehab. So some of the money went there. I needed to borrow money to pay that, so I had to pay back the private money lender. But that's all done. I was able to pay her back a little bit more than she expected, which was really cool. So the deal went pretty good. And I want to just keep recycling that cash, take that cash, stick it into something else. The next play for me is I have these two long-term rentals. It's a duplex in Delray Beach, and I want to switch that to short-term rentals. I'm pretty hooked on short-term rentals. I think short-term rentals is really the way to go. So short-term rentals are really the way to go. So I want to convert the Delray place. It needs a new bathroom. Kitchen is pretty good. It needs the outside. There's a really nice garden. It has to actually be done. Like it's overgrown. And my previous tenant Fiona was planting like dragon fruit and mangoes and papaya and stuff, and it looked really good. But she got really busy recently before she moved out, so it's not as well kept as it once was. We got to get it back to that. So I've got a really good gardener, so we'll get him on it. We'll fix. There's like 10 broken sprinkler heads. We'll fix those heads. We'll keep the grass really green, and it'll be ready to go. It'll be a really nice backyard. There's a pergola. It has to be power washed. The brick has to be power washed, but everything else is really nice. I'll show you some pictures of that so you can see. So that's kind of the next thing. I have a question for you guys, which is what should I call my course? Like I think recently the Evil Landlord has been pretty effective. I think that's a good title for this, because I mean there's so many people on the left who just want free housing and free this and just insult up the comments when I post stuff. So I just started to kind of embrace that. So I was thinking maybe to call the course, like right now it just says, short-term rental course or something, to call it Evil Landlord Educates. That's number one. So let me know which one you like. Number one, Evil Landlord Educates. Number two, Become an Evil Landlord. Or number three, I like this one the best, I think, How to Evil Landlord. Really excellent grammar. It's like what my son would say. I love it. My 11-year-old would say, How to Evil Landlord. Okay. So, but the course is going. You can just go to the link in my bio and find the course. It's free for now, but it will start to cost money. I'm just working out the kinks of the documents and stuff. The videos are ready. And it's pretty good. And ask me anything. I'll do one-on-one. I'll do one-on-one calls with you so you can ask me directly. We'll spend 30 minutes just answering your questions. So that's the course. It's really how to find deals, whether long-term rentals or short-term rentals, how to build a team and manage it yourself. I guarantee you're going to save 8%. You're going to earn an extra 8% a month. Probably going to earn more like an extra 30% a month. And I'll go through why those numbers are accurate. 8% minimum is pretty good in today's crazy environment where people are losing money in the stock market and stuff. That's awesome. You guys know that last year we kind of got punched in the mouth. What's the Mike Tyson line? Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. We had a plan and we got punched in the mouth. What happened is we bought 5 buildings that had really way more deferred maintenance than we thought. And we had a property manager managing them, and he just did a terrible job. We didn't have rental licenses, and he argued with the city and put us in a really bad hole, both financially and emotionally with the city, where the city just didn't trust us. So we fired him in July. That's 7 months in. And now that I just did all our books, we actually made more money in the 5 months than we did in the 7 months where we took a beating. Basically, he did us a favor. He kind of accidentally helped our business, because I think now we're healthier, we're leaner, and the last couple of months we've actually started to net a profit, which is really exciting. And now the city doesn't hate our guts. The city actually likes us. The magistrate likes us, and the inspector likes us. So, I mean, we did a really nice job. Wilson did an excellent job kind of disarming her and making her trust us a little bit, which is just an amazing skill. He's really good at that. I was thinking he was managing my duplex in Delray as well. He actually helped my business, because basically they had this like Italian network that they would rent to other Italians, which is such a small sample size. So all the rents are under market. So I was able to bring up just 2 sizes, a 1-bedroom and a 2-bedroom. I was able to bring the 1-bedroom up to market. So he's paying market. And then the other one just moved out. So whoever I bring in now, especially after I redo the bathroom and do the backyard, like I was saying, do a little beautification. I might even repaint the outside at some point. It's peach with green shutters. It's a really weird color. Definitely be better. But once I do that, the bathroom, the rent, even if I stay with long-term rental, the rent is going to go up significantly. And by significantly, I mean like 15, 20, 25%. That's pretty awesome. He actually did me a huge favor because I'm just boosting all the rents way beyond what they would have done. And I'm not being greedy. I'm just bringing them to market. Like I'm just bringing them up to speed, so they're like he redid some tile work in the bathroom and it was hodgepodge. This part is one kind of tile and this part is a different kind of tile. Like who does that for Delray Beach, a really nice posh place? Like that's just so not the right speed. What you want is like chic, kind of New York style. Like you don't want like beach, like you don't want beach chic. You want like urban chic. That's what people want, but then they're actually at the beach. So you've got to bring it up. The standard has to go up. So if we do that, we'll gain more money every month. Um, Even with a big refi that I did, a big cash out refi I did, we'll still be making about 1,500, 2,000 a month. And if I go short-term rental and juice a little bit more, be doing more like 1,500 to 3,000 profit a month. So it's pretty cool to be able to take out, a few $100,000 refi cash out and also do that. But basically, I got 600,000 equity since I bought it in March of the pandemic. I bought it when people were absolutely freaking out during the pandemic, and she was kind of she was kind of stressed out because her husband was having some medical issues, and she really just wanted to sell it. And I think she did well. I don't think she sold cheap or anything. I think I even may have overpaid for it, but it went through this massive appreciation. It's essentially doubled in price since I've had it, which is crazy. But if you've seen Delray Beach and Atlantic Ave, it's close to George Bush Boulevard. It's a great place. There's all kinds of new stuff developing, and the houses around me got nicer, so the whole area went up. So that's pretty awesome. But my point is that by actually having the crappy property manager and now switching to this in-house property management, I've actually just not only am I making an extra eight to 10% just by doing the management myself, but I've cleaned up my maintenance costs, like how much it costs to buy a refrigerator and to do the sprinklers and the bathroom and everything. Like everything I've got under my control, and it's basically cheaper for me and better quality while being inexpensive. But also I brought the rents up, so it's like the total plus for me in this position is 35% easy, maybe 50%. So it's just crazy. Like I'm just so happy that this happened. It's, from getting punched in the mouth, I ended up with a better situation. So it's just kind of funny how life works that way. And essentially rents are nothing but up from here. Even if they grow 3%, 3.5% a year, I'm in good shape. And like fast forward 10 years, some of the mortgage is paid down, plus the appreciation. I've been depreciating it as far as my taxes. It's just great. So yeah, he accidentally did me a favor, which is kind of hilarious. And this comes to the next thing, which is I really think to be good at this, there's like kind of two qualities you need, and it's a mindset thing. You need to be positive in the face of adversity. You need to be able to joke around and fuck around and really like stay chill because shit goes wrong, so you've got to have the mindset. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is you've got to be part dreamer. You've always got to be, what if I turn into short-term rental? What if I do this? What if I put a new roof on? What if I paint it a new color? You have to be dreaming. If you want to build stuff and build a portfolio and build new development and take something that was one family, make it two family, or, like what we're doing in Spring Park, take something that was 10 units and making it 30 units, all that kind of stuff. You just have to dream it out a little bit. I was with a really good lawyer, one of the best lawyers in Jacksonville, who does new developments and does, big projects like the Jacksonville Jaguar Stadium and some of the high rises downtown and stuff. And she was telling me that all these people, I mean, they're good with numbers and they're good with business, they're good with people, but they're also dreamers. They're also just like, they've got a vision and nobody else has that vision. You look at Elon Musk and stuff, like he's got the vision, reusable rockets and electric cars and getting to Mars. You need that big vision. So that's kind of a mindset thing. Have that big vision and plan. It will help you. It will focus you. I'm sorry, I'm so allergic. I'm trying not to be, but it's ridiculous. Something about my real estate team is I feel like I think one of the problems is I'm talking about investments and stuff because I'm really excited about it. But I'm talking about real estate as an agent a little bit less. But I'm still really into being an agent. I have a big listing appointment after I finish this video, and I'm really excited about it. And I think one of the things is, I was saying before, is I have this skip trace call and text system to try to get new business. And it works well because I drum business out of nowhere. Some people tell me to fuck off, which I accept. And the thing is, I'm just trying to help people. I'd like to help a lot of families this year, so I really just want to text. If you want help, cool. If you don't, you write stop and I will never bother you. um it costs money to have people on a database, so I'm actually happy when people tell me to fuck off nicely. That said, I think that this is a very exciting year. Like, I'm in Brooklyn with EXP Realty, and we're under the Gold Bar team, which is really Queens. But what's kind of cool is that while we're doing Brooklyn, they're doing more and more training with some really good people like Ricky Caruth and Juan Carlos. So you have these incredible training sessions, like just weekly, daily training sessions, a few a day. Just through that, EXP has more training, but like that's one thing that's really cool that I offer now. Like, if you work with me or under me, you're going to get all kinds of training. So for everything, you're training with lawyers, with people running VAs to make calls for you, transaction coordinators, like just every facet of the business they're discussing, and they're talking about how to get six-figure business right in the first year. And they're really simple systems. Like what I'm telling you about skip tracing and calling, or finding expireds and calling, this is not complex stuff. I mean, first off, if you're not doing this, I don't know why you're not doing it. And if you need to learn how to do it, just come to me. I'll teach you how to do it super quickly. And like I said, I can point you in a direction to some of these masters. Like, I'm okay at it. I run a pretty decent business, but there's people who are way better than me, who 10x it, who 10x that. Like, it's sky's the limit. So it definitely works. One kind of cool thing is I have somebody under me who has somebody under him, and I've been talking to him, and he's been cold calling. And in his first week as an agent, he got a listing. I mean, it's just like, it works. There's no question about it. I mean, he's pretty good on the phone. I'm impressed. And he struggled to pass the real estate exam, which is a credit to him because he stuck with it and passed it. So that, like, perseverance is what it takes. Just get on the call. He's waking up in the morning going, I want calls. So we put him through Mojo, and we got him expires to call. And that's that. He's making the calls, he's doing the work, and he's getting the results. So I mean, it's really cool. Like, the proof is in the pudding. I don't know how much to say it, but anyway, any questions about that, I can help you with that. I also have a link to that, about training with EXP, like what the benefits of the team are. And there's quite a few. I mean, there's the split is higher than most. The revenue share is awesome. So every time everybody under me closes a deal, I get money, and it doesn't cost them anything. It comes from EXP. It's kind of like a thank you for getting the new agents who are doing business. So that's really cool, and that stuff adds up. So I think I've said this before, I'd like 5 to 10 agents to work with me, because I have a lot more business. Right now we're doing business in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, and Florida. So like, we're definitely expanding. I'd do all 50 states. It's all the same. Although Pennsylvania stinks, the laws stink. No offense to the Pennsylvania agents. I like you guys. You guys work hard. So I wanted to tell you about the perfect call. The way that I got the Delray Beach house was a cold call. So what I did is I looked up all multifamilies that had a certain amount of equity built into them. So in other words, when a person sold, they would be taking a certain amount of money. They'd paid down their mortgage a certain percentage. I think I was doing 40% equity. So in other words, if you put let's just say $200,000 down, you had at least 80,000 cash sitting there. So the idea is that the person would make some money if they sold. Even if they sold at a discount, they would make some money. So it'd be win for me, get the property, but win for them, get the cash. And I was hoping to find people who were in a little bit of a pinch. And what happened is I took out a list of about 500 properties, and I called, and I had a VA at the time. I don't have any VAs right now, which I want to reset. If I had a team, I also used to do way more online sales in those days, like as an Amazon seller and through WordPress and some other stuff. But and I had a VA who would track stuff every day. She was awesome. I also had a VA specifically for real estate, and then I had someone else who I shared with Wilson. And the other VA who I had for real estate was really excellent. And She was very good at calling. She just at some point didn't want to call anymore, but I'll fast forward to that later. Right now, for the sake of the story, she was right in her power. She was really polite and really, really nice with people. So this is the perfect call, is that I had the list and I was actually on vacation, which is pretty cool. I was in Rhode Island, and she got a call. She got a caller on the phone who had a duplex and had some medical issues with her husband and really wanted to sell quick. She needed the cash. So we were able to do it. We were able to set it up, get the funding in place, set it up, set it up. She had a realtor. She ended up saying, I'd rather just sell you directly. So I think she paid the realtor directly. I didn't have anything to do with that. And meanwhile, we were able to get the deal done. And it was really good. It was really the perfect call, because this is how it worked from my perspective, is that Denny, my VA, made the call and then called me like, hey, sir, I have somebody who's ready to go. Call her, and gave me the number, and I called her. And what's cool about that is that when I step in, I'm the closer. Like, in other words, I'm the deal maker. I'm the owner. So I was able to go, hey, we can get you, the number that you want that we kind of negotiated. Um, I can get it to you directly, even with funding, without funding, like I'll close. Actually, the funding ended up being super complicated. I ended up getting turned down from one bank and switching to somebody else who now I always use. But that's a different story. How the funding went haywire is a totally different story. But the fact is, the lawyer was really good, the title company was good, and the direct communication was awesome. She was really cool on the phone, and I think part of that is because Denny's basically saying like, hey, my boss is going to call you. So then, or the owner is going to call you. So when I get on, there's like built-in respect. Like, it's not a cold call by any means. Like, it's already warm. She's already warmed up. Denny did a really good job. And that's the advantage of having the VA call first, that by the time I step in, it's like gonna get done or it's gonna fail. Like, it's the decision is coming. So it was pretty much like bang bang. And then, we closed a little bit later, and that's the one that I told you has basically doubled in price. And I even think I overpaid for it. So in other words, the seller did really well. It's not that I had fucked the seller. The seller did great. Was able to pay for everything she wanted to, and was happy with me, was happy with us. And that's really the perfect transaction and the perfect cold call. And it really can happen really easily. It's just really Denny just getting on the phone and going, hey, we'd like to buy your place. Can we make you an offer? And that's that. I got on the phone, made the offer, and the rest is history. So that's really it. I really want to give you a tennis metaphor for how this stuff works, which is, I think that I like tennis metaphors. I like sports metaphors. When you guide a ball, you miss, but when you hit a ball really hard and you pull back and you swing the racket as fast as you can, it imparts spin on the ball. It gives you way more margin for error, and a lot drop in. Balls you hit really hard that were going long will come back down. So I really think that's true for business as well. In other words, when you go for it, when you take your full swing, you really are successful. Things that seem impossible suddenly become possible. So you really have to go for it. You really, like, you're your only defender. Like, if you don't back yourself, who's going to back you? So try to go big. Grant Cardone, who I'm not even that crazy about, but I do like him. A little bullshitty sometimes, but Grant Cardone always talks about like the 10x idea. Just go big or go big. I think it's true. I think you're more successful when you go for it. It's like you're pumped up, your adrenaline's running, you're ready to go. So you really do have to do that. Last year I said we got punched in the mouth. There's something else um, that I want to bring up, which is, I don't think this is talked about. Like, I have evil landlord. I was also thinking about calling myself ADHD landlord, because I mean, as you can see, I'm always shaking and going. I have Jimmy legs, Jimmy hands. Um, I have a hard time concentrating. I have a hard time staying on topic. And that can be pretty destructive, to be honest. This business, it takes a lot of like type A attention to detail. And sometimes details just like go out the window for me. I'm hypoglycemic. I have really low sugar, and I sometimes pass out, and I sometimes get like real trembly, and I get a little irritable when I'm like that. And unfortunately, And this is like the worst thing. When I was younger, I used to get panic attacks, and they stopped. I think I kind of self-medicated, but now last year they started again, and they're really debilitating. Um, I'd say they take about 6 months to fully recover from. And I just wanted to bring that up. Like I think you really have to do what you want in this world. You can't be depressed, like you've got to fight it. You got to work out or play a sport you love or like do whatever it is to kind of get yourself right. Like me personally, I think urban living is not for me. I live in Brooklyn. I live in a busy spot near downtown, and it's a lot of people. It's a lot of bikers suddenly cutting you off and people in your way, and you go outside and somebody's yelling and cursing, and just a couple junkies who take a dump on the ground, and I know who they are. And I'm a little sick of that personally. I just want less stress as I get older, and I'm a little claustrophobic, and that just the kind of throngs of people kind of drive me crazy. I hate crowds. I would do anything just not to be in a fucking crowd. Um, and I'm just telling you because I just feel like a lot of like Instagram and social media is like brag, 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 but there's some serious problems too. Like mental health is a fucking big deal. Like when I have a panic attack, I'm not even sure I want to be alive afterwards. It's like it's pretty it's pretty fucking intense. Anybody who has them, I really empathize with you so badly. It's a horrible thing to have. And I know there's worse things out there. Like my partner in one of the deals is epileptic, and I feel like my shit's child's play compared to that. I think that's way worse. But anyway, my point is I don't want to hold it. I don't want to just keep it in and pretend like it doesn't happen. It happens. I'm dealing with it. I've started medicine for it, which so far has been pretty helpful. Um, but I just wanted to kind of put it out there because I feel like I'm kind of doing a disservice, like, you know, posting success, success. Look how much money we made. Look how this deal went well. Look at this perfect cold call. Like, there's a lot of imperfection. If I'll give you last week's statistics. I got two great calls, about 10 decent calls, one listing appointment, and I reached out to 2,500 people. So it's not like the numbers are like staggering or something. Like, I'm not getting a great conversion rate. Maybe my lists can be scrubbed better. There's reasons for that, but I also get, let's see, for that amount, let's just say 1%, like 25 people told me to go fuck myself, and very vividly with very colorful language. So that's part of it. Like, it's not all it's not all rainbows and unicorns by any fucking means. And like the tenants will curse at you, and like you'll have some shit, and the city comes down hard on you, and some people trying to scam you. Like, there's all kinds of stuff. So anyway, that's my point. Is there's definitely a mental health aspect to it. So be smart with yourself, be reasonable with yourself, be nice to yourself. And I really think just like getting up, working out, being positive, like I was talking about the mindset, it all plays in. So I wish you guys the best as far as your mental health and stuff. And if you'd like to talk about any of these things, hypoglycemia, ADHD, panic, like, I'm happy to talk about it. I used to be scared of talking about it. I felt like it would lead me into it, but I don't think that's the case anymore. I think I'm much more managed. And one super interesting thing, this is my last point about mental health, is that when I first had these issues when I was under 20 into my early 20s, I wasn't that mature, and I did pretty well. I think I started self-medicating and I started to kind of get myself under control. I did get medicine for it. It had other side effects, so I ended up not taking it for too long, but it was good just to know that I could get my head in gear. Then I tried to do it naturally. Now I'm back to medicine because it really is debilitating. So I just want to have the medicine as a possibility. But one thing that's different now is I'm much older. I'm much more mature now. Like, I'm 47 now. I really don't give a like. I'm happy to admit that I have it. Like, tell anybody. I told my dad, which is really interesting because he's totally this old school Italian who's like, you don't talk about that stuff, and he was really cool about it. He was like, oh yeah, I got that. Like, well, why didn't you tell me? You could have saved me a lot of trouble. I didn't want to worry you, which is just hilarious. It's just such an old school way of thinking. Like, it's loving in a certain way, but like the modern world is so different. It's not PC. PC woke Brooklyn by any means. So that kind of cracked me up. The last thing I want to talk about, I saw a little bit about this on the All In podcast, and it just kind of does my head in. There's a short video if you want to see it on my YouTube and Instagram, which is the government is trying to sue Google for antitrust stuff, and I just think this points out something that is just so obvious to me. It's another reason I'm really sick of New York City. Is I'm really tired of some of these anti entrepreneur laws, and not just laws, but like attempts at the law. Like Google's created all kinds of jobs. They've done all kinds of good stuff. They're giving you free fucking information. You can learn anything. You can find my free videos by searching on it, by searching on YouTube, by searching on Google. I mean, it's amazing. You can get all kinds of information. Anyway, I don't understand the government. If they wanted to sue them for antitrust stuff, it should have been years and years ago. Like, why now? And it feels really mean spirited, and it feels like it's an attack on entrepreneurs. And I feel that towards Elon Musk also. Like, I just don't get it. Like, we're so lucky to have a couple American companies and a couple Americans who are doing amazing stuff. Like, why are we not supporting them? I don't get it. It's me personal. People say, "Oh, they should pay more taxes." Bullshit. No, they shouldn't. They should be playing the same system that the fucking politicians are playing and not paying taxes. At least they're creating jobs. What fucking jobs are the politicians creating? So that really pisses me off. I feel like it reveals, and I'm sorry to be so cursy, but I feel like it reveals just a general ineptitude towards economics that our government and our leaders, our elected officials seem to have, which I think is really a problem. Like, if we want to compete in this, global arena economically, like, we just have to be better than this. I was watching AOC on CNN the other day, and I thought, you know, part of part of what she was saying, I thought was pretty smart, like from a social standpoint. But then when it came to economics, it's like she had no idea what she was talking about. Whether it's deliberate or she just doesn't never learned it. Like, I don't know, but it's such a mess. Those are our elected officials. Like, when I look at New York City politics and I see the problems on the street, I'm like, we can't fix it. These guys cannot fix it. They don't understand it. Or if they understand it, they're deliberately doing it wrong. And either scenario is horrible. And I just don't get. It's one of the reasons I want to get out of here. I just feel like I can't believe these people decide if our roads get paved, and you know they get to choose that the funding is cut for the schools and stuff. Like, it's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. And they're chasing out the wealthy, and they're trying to tax the crap out of the people who are left, who are mostly middle class, which is just going to turn them into the lower class. Then they'll give out more handouts. Like, it's none of it makes any sense. So anyway, I think that this suit reveals that, like, what's kind of sad from the DOJ's perspective is that they're basically revealing that they don't know how tech works. They don't understand their own laws. They don't really support their own entrepreneurs. They don't support the people who are making jobs. And like, that's just crazy. It's like we've gotten way too woke. There's something super wrong with this. So anyway, that's how I feel about that. Not that you give a fuck about my politics, but I just think it's mean spirited. I think being an entrepreneur is really hard, and seeing anything that makes it harder just does my head in. It makes me really angry. So that's the state of the world. Oh, one more thing. I'm trying to build my YouTube channel. So if you're finding this on Instagram or Facebook or something, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's really the better platform also, especially compared to Facebook. Facebook blows. Facebook search is a fucking embarrassment. YouTube search, you can search anything. You can find an expert explaining something to you in 10 seconds. Facebook, good luck. You find what they want you to find, not what you want to find. So if you have ADHD, you hate Facebook. You're just like, fuck you for trying to manipulate my fucking emotions. I have enough problems. I don't need you fucking in my brain as well. Um, anyway, yeah, please follow on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube and you're not following, please follow, subscribe, whatever it's called. Hit the bell, all that kind of stuff. And comment. I'm happy to answer questions that, like, I don't know what you guys want to learn, so tell me and I'll help. I've been blessed to have a lot of people explain stuff to me, so happy to pay it forward. Good luck out there. And if you're on the fence about investing, just do it. Just get it done. Same with becoming an agent. Just do it. There's very little overhead. Go for it. There's a lot of the commissions are pretty high. There's a lot to be gained. So any questions, ask me. I'll help you out with it.